there's ice on the road, the snow on the side of the road, and I'm in a 550 horsepower LS3 engine swap Land Rover Defender. What could possibly go wrong? Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to a Squire Editions Defender. Woohoo! Sheltering from the inclement weather outside, but welcome to Squire Editions, based in Chichester. Now, I've wanted to come here and film with these guys for a while now, but it's taken time to get the right car to share with you, and boy do I have the right car. But Squire Editions will take Land Rover products, so Defender, Series Land Rover, for their customers, built to order, and they'll do engine swaps, really lovely interiors, cool exteriors, gun cases in the back for customers that go shooting. Really, the sky is the limit. And first up, in their little reception area here, which feels more like a really nice country club, they've got examples of some of the seats that they do and some of the finishes that they can have. They've even got two beautiful dogs just fast asleep on their bed behind me. But as soon as I finish my coffee, we're going to head on into the workshop, and I've got a superb car to share with you. I came here for maybe a month or so ago, and we started talking about sharing this car with you, and it's taken this time to get it right. Unfortunately, the weather isn't exactly playing ball, but hopefully we'll get it out on the road a bit later on. But first up, let me finish my coffee, and then we'll go and have a look at the workshop. Now, this is what you call a workshop, surrounded by loveliness, but this is the car I've come to film with today. It's a very special bit of kit. There's a really great story to it, and you might just look at it from the outside and go, it's just a 110 that, but it's not. It's got an LS3 V8 in it for a start. It's running lots of horsepower. It's got a beautiful interior, but there are cars all the way around here with lovely stories, and I want to share some of those with you today. Now, you guys know me. I love my Defenders. And I think there's something about the older shape Defenders, when they went out of production, replaced by the latest generation of Defender, there's still this love story with them. And there's now a growing market for people taking them. First up, values have gone up greatly because they're so sought after, but taking them and making them even more special. And that's what Squire Editions do. And this car is a really interesting one. The client that owns this car, actually the body kit isn't from Squire Editions. It was done by another company. But it was then bought here because what's under the bonnet is very special. So this car has uprated engine and gearbox and suspension, and then all the other underpinnings that you need with the 4x4. And what I'm going to do is get Tom from Squire Editions on to talk about not just this car, but the work they do in general very shortly. But let's walk around the car first of all and soak in some of the details. Well, we best start off with the engine, because this particular car, before it was converted, was running the diesel. Now it's got a 6.2 litre LS3 V8, and this engine is producing around about 550 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds of torque. And then that's going through a ZF auto gearbox. And that just fundamentally changes the characteristic of this car anyway, the way it drives down the road, the kind of power, the responsiveness of the throttle, all of those kind of things. But the thing that makes this car even more special is it has side exit exhausts, and an exhaust tone that is very undefender but absolutely epic. Now, let's talk body kit and suspension. So first up, this is actually a Kahn body kit. As I said, it was done before it came here. And I think it's either to your taste or not. I think it makes this car look really rugged and pretty cool. It is more of maybe an urban car than a off-road, out in the countryside car. But I think it looks cool. But when I first saw this car a few weeks ago, it was actually on air suspension. And what happened, once the engine had gone for its tune, on the first test drives, they realized that basically the car was producing so much power that the air suspension just wasn't able to deal with it. You were kind of lifting the nose. So it's now on passive suspension. It's got buyback springs, Bilstein dampers, and I think it sits beautifully and is probably all the better for it as a car. But yeah, what a profile from the side. These big extended arches, very cool. What I love about walking around this workshop, we've got fabrication here, we've got electrical here. The vast majority of stuff is done in-house. They build their own wiring looms on that board there. There's a ZF gearbox for you to have a look at there. There's an LS3 ready to go in a car just there. Really cool. They do all their own upholstery fabrication here. A couple of sewing machines, some examples of what they can do. And then the upholstery section just to the left of me. Everything. You can look around, and if you came here as a prospective customer, you can really much go to town and choose whatever you like for your car. Sadly, they haven't invented smell-o-vision for YouTube yet, but this is the kind of leather fabrication area. It smells amazing here. There are leather samples here, a seat ready to go in a car here. Absolutely love it. Moving around the back, you see these big squared off arches, but the standout bit for me are these. Either side, you've got side exit exhausts. As I've mentioned already, they sound very special. And then you come around the back, and I just think the rear of the older Defender with the big wheel on the back, and you've got this upgraded crash structure at the back, and you've got a place to put your tow hitch. I imagine towing a horse box with 550 horsepower would be quite emotional. But then if we start to have a look at the inside, obviously these older Defenders had the side-mounted seats that drop down. Now this is where you could really go to town here at Squire Editions. If you were into your shooting, you could have a gun rack at the back with a drinks case, place to put your matching pair of guns. But the interior in the front is really special, so that's where we're going to head next. Now, I don't want to upset any old Defender owners here, but the interiors were never all that. Oh my days, this is on another level. So first thing you notice as you get in are these carbon door cards, which are specific to Squire Editions, and the lovely kind of alloy handle there. I'm going to just jump in because it's just a proper bit of kit in here. Now, they never had the best driving position in the world, but what's happened in here is just, well, the seats are the standout piece for me. This beautiful quilted leather everywhere on the dash, the grab handle there. This centerpiece here is again carbon to match the door cards. Squire Edition steering wheel, new instrument cluster. You've got nice alloy indicators, new knobs and dials on the main dash, a CarPlay unit. It's just brought up to the modern day and absolutely stunning. A massive, great big twin pan roof to give loads of light and loads of air. It's a really special place. I could quite happily take this car home. But I want to have a chat with Tom just to go through some more of the details of this car, but also some of the other projects they've got, because there are some really interesting engine swaps and restorations and things taking place in the workshop. So let's have a chat with Tom. Now then, this is Tom. We finally made it happen.
We are here. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for your time.
Mate, my pleasure. So I wanted to talk, we've talked about this car, which is a really special bit of kit. And it demonstrates what you guys do really well. But there's some other things in here, from an old series Land Rover behind me to some epic looking thing over there with hammered out paint and lift kit.
Absolutely. Yeah, ex-military vehicle there. And it just, I mean, obviously, as you've gone around here, you've seen different vehicles that we have. This epitomises what we do. It's very much your design, our creation. So this client's come to us with that specific build. That's his request. So that's what we've done. It's a military vehicle, as you just mentioned. He wanted to retain that patina. So that was the whole important part to him for that journey. It will actually be a really cool beach runner, believe it or not.
Wicked.
I know, yeah. The front screen will fold down. It is going to have a monstrous LS3 in as well, coupled up to the ZF, the 8 HP, which is the very thing that is running on this car. and some other refinements on the inside.
Cool. So engine swap wise, then you use the LS3.
Yeah.
But there's that one over there you're saying's got something different in it as well.
There's all sorts. So we've got the 2.3 EcoBoost over here. That's going to be a story for another day. When they run right, they are lovely, but there has been a few challenges that we've had to overcome on that. Over here we have a 200 TDI, 300 TDI I should say, that's going out to the States. As you mentioned, we've got a series behind us, the Beach Runner M57.
That's a very special colour.
Yeah, lovely, very, very nice car, and that is going to be on brand colours for a local greenhouse company called Aditex. So it'll be a very.
Oh, I know them. They're just out towards Petersfield.
Yeah, just on the bottom of the road, and then we've got a local farmer that wanted his car to retain a patina on the outside, but wanted a bit more refinements, a bit more comfortable ride on the inside. But that being said, that is definitely one to look out for because it is running 220 horsepower.
Oh wow!
Yeah, nice.
So,
and another one there. So that's another 300.
So customers come to you.
Yeah.
Do you source the vehicle, or do they, or either?
Generally speaking, they source the vehicle, but we can source the vehicle.
Yeah. So they say, I've got a Defender, and then they can come in here, and we've kind of had a look around all the various things you do in-house. You could go wild. Absolutely,
and they do. They do. It's kid in the sweet shop kind of thing. When you get in here and have a look what we do 95% of the builds in-house. There are some factors that we've got to go to a third party, more so diffs, transfer boxes, those sort of rebuild sides. That doesn't make it cost effective for us to do. But 95% of it done in-house. We've got some wonderful craftsmen in here do a superb job.
Yeah. With this one, just coming back, I talked to the guys about suspension. What work have you had to do with things like diffs and stuff on here?
So we've got stage 2 transfer box on here, uprated diffs, half shafts and CVs. As I think you alluded to in the video prior to this, that we did have it running on airbags beforehand. Not something that we fitted, someone else has fitted, but then we were going down the road, it all didn't handle particularly well, and it wanted to throw you one side or another, which is terribly inconvenient. But that being said, now it's on a set of Bilsteins, beautiful. Brakes, they've been uprated anyway, but we're looking to do our own style brakes, which Robbie's prototyping now on the one behind us, and the ZF 8HP.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So next thing we need to do is take it for a drive.
Let's do it.
It's a bit cold outside.
I know,
but we'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. It's going to be, well, I don't know how many 550 horsepower Defenders you've driven, Peter.
Not petrol ones, no. I've driven an electric converted Defender with about 400 brake. I think that's probably the most powerful. This is going to sound a lot better.
It's going to sound a lot better. It's going to be definitely very raw. And I think what we need to do is put the heating back on for the boys, because otherwise they're going to go on strike.
Yeah, and you can work now, boys. You can start making noise. They've been amazing while we've been filming. Like, action! Right, let's go out for a drive and get it dirty. Okay, we're out and about. Let me turn on the beast. Now, before we do the drive, one of the really cool things is Squire Editions do the most awesome keys, because the original key in this isn't that special, but their one is. It's got carbon inlays and everything. So, handbrake off, which is down here still, which is still a very weird place to put a handbrake. So I thought I'd take it for a drive around the local area of Goodwood, because I know it very well, and it's local to these guys here at Squire Editions as well. So I've only driven it a few miles, and already you can tell you've got something very special under the bonnet. It's a typical Defender driving position though, not the best, but the view out the front window is so cool because you've got that square profile at the front. You've got a slight bulge in the bonnet where all the lovely noises are emanating from. So far I've just been in town traffic really, and just squeezing the throttle very gently, getting used to the way the engine responds to the throttle, the way the power comes in. But when you do accelerate away, the car builds up through the gears and you get this lovely rumble from the back of the car, and it just sounds magnificent. These seats, they take a bit of getting into. Getting in and out of this car is an event, that's for sure, but once you're in them, very comfortable. And when you just kick down and it starts to be a bit more gruff, it's got the response unlike any Defender I've ever driven. As we drive past the kennels, this car would make an amazing shooting car. So you go up to your clay pigeon chute or your live chute, You rock up in the car park and everyone hears you coming, and then you open the back and you've had Squire Editions make you a really nice case for the back where you've got your lovely pair of Berettas in there, or something else a little bit more expensive maybe. And then when you finish your shoot, you could have a little wee tipple from the drinks cabinet and get someone else to drive you home. Or actually, scratch that, if it's going to sound that good, I'll stay on the Coke, I'll be the designated driver and I'm driving home. You can have the brandy. Now, as you can see, there is actually snow on the grass, so I'm going to be very careful because this car is still being tested. There's still a little bit of work to be done just on the map and the way the throttle inputs are, the way the car is at low revs. But that's one of the things when the guys put one of these cars together for a customer, they're quite insistent on putting a decent amount of road miles on it just to make sure everything's bedded in and everything's working well, whether that's the ECU software running the engine, whether that's the gearbox itself. And this car just needs a few more final tweaks, but as it is at the moment, sounds amazing. I'm being so careful. There's slush on the road and I'm in a 550 horsepower Defender that isn't mine. So I think on this review we'll be taking it easy, but this car may well have a huge amount of power and 500 foot-pounds of torque, but the way the mapping's been done, it's about a smooth, relentless delivery of power. You know, this is not a track day car, it's more about the noise and the theatre and the occasion than the outright pace. But there is pace there. This is a fast car. The road conditions today aren't really in my favour to put it to the ultimate maximum test. I'm not going to do a 0 to 60 test or play with the kickdown too much, because to be quite honest, when you're getting your head around a car and you're learning it, it's hard enough to do in dry conditions when you've got decent grip. But when you're not too sure about what the grip's like, let's just... Oh, I'm being so careful. I mean, the noise and the power you can feel. The throttle itself has quite a heavy feel to it, so you have to make quite direct, concerted inputs, which I think is quite a good thing, because if it was too light, you'd be pushing it, and the opportunity to kind of kick down when you're not expecting it. So you really do need to make a concerted effort to make this car go quickly. But when you do that, it kicks down and the power's there and the performance is there. And the noise, it's just got this deep rumble, and you'll be able to hear it on the camera, but what you won't be able to do is feel it through your bum. I can feel that car, the engine, the rumble, the power, all the way up through my body, and it's fantastic. So this isn't so much of a 0 to 60 test, but it's an exuberant acceleration. Oh my days. It's still kicking down. I'm like, oh, it's finished its acceleration now, and the engine's like, no, actually, if you want more, I've got it, you just need to push the throttle a little bit harder. Oh, if you had this, you'd be doing that off the line every single set of traffic lights. You'd be getting an ASBO through the post on a daily basis. Oh my days, what a thing. Oh wow. Oh wow. I wasn't actually sure whether we'd be able to film on the road with this car today, because the weather this morning, we had quite a lot of snow, but look at it now, it's absolutely beautiful out there. Oh my god. Oh, it's like a... Now, the question is, how much is one of these going to cost you? Well, I guess how long's a piece of string? But if you're looking at an LS3 engine swap, along with all the other things that Squire would do to the car in terms of gearbox and braking and suspension, it's not cheap. It's going to be sort of 85 grand and upwards. But they can also, if you wanted to put a supercharger onto the LS3 or twin turbo, or go even more crazy, you could do. But I think just a standard LS3 is more than enough. Oh my god, what a car. Anyway, I would love to know what you guys think of this. I mean, if you love your Defenders, this has got to be the holy grail, really, unless you're one of those people who hates it when you do any modifications to cars at all. But this has got more power, it's smoother, the interior's comfortable. It's a nice place to be. I'd quite happily do a long journey in this car. But put in the comments what you think. But a huge thanks to Tom and all the team at Squire Editions. Hopefully this is the first of many things I'll do with them, because I just love what they're doing. I love the way they go about things. They've got a real cool vibe in their workshop and in their sort of reception area. It's very, very cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Tom's also got an armoured personnel carrier that he goes to the curry house in. So we might have to do that one day. But for now, I'm going to enjoy the last of the day's sunshine, and I'm going to enjoy driving this beautiful Defender back to Squire Editions. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe, like I'm trying to do with ice on the road in a 550 horsepower Defender.